Well, welcome back to part 4. This will probably be a really short video. Couldn't get a whole lot done this morning. We had veterinarian appointments for the dogs. Tied up our entire morning. Tied up my bank account. Poor old vet, you got to take care of those vets. They never know where their next 100,000 is going to come from. So what we're going to do is start disassembling this thing. We're going to go ahead and take off this rectifier. It's just nothing's holding it on except the screws now. We can get that off of there. And then we're going to remove the entire speaker. And I'll show you how that's going to be accomplished as soon as we get this off. So let's get that done first. Well, that's all there is to it. It had 3 solder contacts underneath. We're kind of doing this without a schematic. I don't know where I would ever find a schematic on this thing. But that's what she looks like close up. Let me put it here and zoom in on it. These are probably copper plates with some kind of an alloy or a different material between them. I'm sure that's what they are. I'm sure this is a copper oxide rectifier. And there's your contacts underneath where the wires hook in. Alright, let's keep ripping and tearing. Let's see if we can't get this speaker basket and speaker and everything off. Down in there you see those wires that had the that has the electrical tape on it, and they both came off the terminals. They both fell off the terminals. They weren't soldered hardly at all. They both came off. So what we're going to do is go over here. We're going to cut the other wire to the audio output transformer, and this entire thing should remove, because those 2 wires coming out of here are no longer connected to anything. Let's see how well that goes. For those of you who have been following this series, you'll recall that last time this wire here just came loose from here. There again, it wasn't soldered the way it should have been soldered. I'm not taking anything away from people who do this sort of thing. They tried their best. They just didn't do it right, that's all. There's been plenty of things I've tried over the years and it just never worked. I tried hard. Other people look at it and say, I don't see the difficulty here. What's your problem? The problem is I never really learned how to do it until, someone showed me. Or trial and error, I guess. So whoever did it, no problem. We're going to take care of it. And now this here is the other wire on the audio output transformer. And we're going to go ahead and the idea is, where do I snip it? I don't want to snip it too close to the transformer. And we don't want to snip it so far out that it's hard to connect a wire on, because we're going to set up a terminal strip on this thing. Thanks to I'm a junk collector. I would have never known to do that if he hadn't told me. And Tubacal. Anyway, here we go. We're going to go ahead and cut it probably about right here. And we'll cut it right about where that bend is, and that'll give me enough wire sticking out from here and enough here, because when we put this thing back together, it's going to be done a whole lot differently. Matter of fact, when we get it together, we're going to fix it so in the future someone will be able to remove the speaker completely and have enough wire to flip it over to the side to get down into the guts. And we're going to go ahead and cut it right here. Watch, Don. Watch this now. Here we go, buddy. This is for Don. I'm a junk collector up there in Ohio. There it is. It's a done deal, boy. Well, there it is. The speaker is off, laying right here. We're going to be looking at that in the next video. But I think what I'm going to do now is try to remove this and this, get it off this base plate, and start doing some de-rusting. We're going to tear this thing apart. I told you that right in the beginning. A lot of our subscribers have said, well, you need to tear this apart, that apart. I know that. We're going to do that, okay? But I got to be careful as I go, because, like I said, we have no schematic and I don't know what I'm into. But I'll tell you what, before we do that, why don't we just remove that tape? So old Don, I'm a junk collector, doesn't have a heart attack, because he said, tape, I want to see what's inside the tape. Alright, here we go. I got it almost all off. By the way, I'm going to remind you one more time, do not use this kind of stuff for insulation. Don't do that. If I catch anybody doing that, I'm going to sick great grandma on them. Here we go. Looks like we got us a full wave bridge rectifier here, I think. Well, that's kind of an interesting thing. It's definitely a bridge rectifier. They've got a, yep, I think it's a full wave bridge rectifier if I'm not mistaken. Sure what it looks like to me. Oh well, now we know what's under there, okay? This is a VS048, that's the number that's on it. Let's get this speaker up like this where it'll be a lot more protective on the cone, because I've got to cover that speaker with some cardboard here in a second. 7748 is another number. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's full wave bridge rectifier. But anyway, that took the place of this puppy right here. Amazing, isn't it? Look at that. Look at the size difference between this and that little square block of plastic. Isn't that amazing? Okay. Well, I'll just keep working on this, and maybe I can get it stripped down before I have to go to work. I'd like to get this video edited and in the uploading phase before I head to work. Well, the audio output transformer is loose except for the power cord. I'll go ahead and give that a snip out here somewhere. We're not going to use this same old power cord. There we go. We're going to get rid of that whole mess. Alright, get rid of that. We're making progress. Now the power transformer, I have all the screws out except this one, and it is so rusted it's frozen. Of course, you know, there's always one. It's got to be a pain in the butt. So we're going to go ahead and knock off this video here. I'm going to go ahead, I'll be heading to work in a little while. I'm going to soak this real good with penetrating oil, and it should be ready to come out by the time I get home. I'm also going to cover this speaker cone and everything, this entire thing here, with a cardboard to protect it. Well, that's it. I've got that screw soaking in that liquid wrench. And I'm going to shoot it one more time before I head off to work, which is not too long from now. And I've also got the cover on the speaker. Okay? Nice cardboard cover. I have a whole collection of these things, by the way, up here. They're stacked up in different sizes. All I have to do is pull one out when I need it. And that's the one I needed for today. So, you know, the question is, do you really need to do this to protect your speakers? You know, should you do it? Yes, you should. You should do it every single time without fail. Without fail. If you don't, trust me, your meat hooks will be going through speaker cones. Don't let that happen. Protect the cone as best you can. Do this without fail. It's like putting those felt washers behind the knobs on your wooden radios. Why refinish a radio and then put the knob on without a felt washer behind it, and then, you know, scrape up the finish with the knob going back and forth? Makes no sense. Same logic applies here. Protect the speaker cone with a cardboard cover without fail. Well, that's it. I'm going to go ahead and try to get this thing edited and uploaded, and then head off to work while it is uploading, and maybe I can make it public after I get to work if I get some time. Until next time, this is John.